Ethan Cole lived in a small house near the edge of a thick forest in Washington. His house was old, but neat. He spent most of his time fixing machines and cars. He liked quiet life. The forest gave him peace. He often walked near the trees and listened to birds. He did not expect that one night would change everything. It was late. The sky was dark, and the wind moved softly through the trees. Ethan was in his garage, working on an old motorcycle. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the valley behind his house. The ground shook slightly. Ethan froze. The sound was not like thunder. It was sharper, stronger. It was something big, falling from the sky. He put down his tools and ran toward the valley. The moonlight made the forest look strange, with long shadows between the trees. Smoke rose from the place where the crash had happened. Ethan's heart beat fast. He had no idea what he would find, but he knew he had to see. When he reached the crash site, he could not believe his eyes. A silver ship, unlike anything he had ever seen, was half buried in the earth. Its metal glowed faintly in the moonlight, and strange symbols were etched on its surface. The ship looked damaged, but it was not completely broken. Sparks flew from one side, and smoke poured from the engine. Ethan approached carefully. The ground was warm near the ship, and the smell of burning metal filled the air. He heard a soft sound coming from inside. He stopped and listened. It was a quiet, almost human-like moan. Ethan's instincts told him to be careful, but he also knew someone or something needed help. The ship's door opened slowly. A figure appeared. Ethan blinked. He had never seen anyone like her. She was tall, with smooth, pale teal skin. Her hair was silver blue and shimmered in the moonlight. Her eyes were large and bright, like gemstones. She looked fragile, but she carried herself like someone very important. Ethan noticed her clothes. They were made of a strange, soft material that glowed faintly. "Are you hurt?" Ethan asked, unsure if she could understand him. She looked at him carefully, her eyes studying his face. "I am damaged," she said in a soft, melodic voice. Her words were different but clear enough for him to understand. "I require assistance." Ethan's heart raced. He had never helped anyone like this before. He nodded. "Okay. I can try. Come with me. I have tools." She nodded slightly, and he helped her move toward the garage. She was lighter than he expected. Ethan noticed her hands. They were delicate but strong. Her presence was strange. It felt powerful and calm at the same time. Ethan did not know it, but in her culture, this moment was important. Whoever helped her in a time of need could form a strong bond with her. Back in the garage, Ethan examined the ship. It was small, about the size of a van, but very advanced. The metal was smooth, and the inside glowed with blue light. He did not understand all the parts, but he could see the engine was broken. Wires were cut, and a small piece of metal had fallen off. Ethan knew he had to start somewhere. "Can you fix it?" she asked. Her voice was calm, but there was curiosity in it. I can try," Ethan said honestly. "I fix machines all the time. I've never seen anything like this, but I'll do my best." She watched him work. Ethan opened the engine panel and began examining the wires and circuits. He had no idea what most of the parts did, but he used logic. He touched wires, moved small components, and even used pliers to bend a piece of metal back into place. Sparks flew a few times, and the alien princess flinched. But she did not step away. Instead, she observed him closely, like she was learning. "Your hands are skilled," she said quietly. Ethan laughed nervously. "I guess I've practiced a lot. I like fixing things." She tilted her head. "On my world, most humans would not be able to understand even one part of this machine. Yet you are patient. You do not give up. I word, U-47. X Endry. On Deep 2. Ethan shrugged. I don't know. I just like to try. She stayed silent for a while, watching him. Ethan noticed that she did not sit or lie down. She stood near the workbench, keeping her gaze on him. It felt strange, but also comforting. Ethan was used to working alone. Having someone watch him like this made him nervous, but in a good way. Hours passed. Ethan worked with his simple tools, using his knowledge and creativity. He connected wires, replaced broken circuits, and adjusted the engine. Slowly, the ship's lights became steadier. A soft hum started to come from the engine. Ethan wiped sweat from his forehead. It is working, he said. The alien princess smiled faintly. It was a small smile, but it lit up her face. You understand machines better than most in my world. This is remarkable. Ethan felt proud but also confused. Why? Are you here alone? Were you escaping something? She looked down. Yes. My journey was dangerous. My enemies, they wished to capture me. Ethan's heart raced. Danger. That word always made him cautious. He looked at her. I won't let anyone hurt you. I promise. She studied him, surprised by the simplicity of his words. Humans, usually worried only for themselves. Yet this man, a simple mechanic, was willing to protect her without knowing her or her people. In Aravan tradition, actions like this were rare. They spoke of loyalty, courage, and bond-making. Ethan had no idea he was fulfilling such an ancient ritual simply by helping her. Your people are very different from humans, she said. My people? Ethan asked, confused. From what I have observed, humans are unpredictable. You are patient, kind, and brave. Most would run from danger or refuse to help a stranger. Ethan laughed. I guess I'm not most people. I just do what seems right. She nodded slowly. Her eyes softened. It seems I may have underestimated humans. The night passed. Ethan worked tirelessly. He took breaks only to drink water or eat a simple sandwich. The alien princess never complained. She watched silently, occasionally handing him a tool or pointing out something he might need to check. By morning, the ship looked almost fixed. The metal was clean. The engine stabilized, and the smoke had stopped. Ethan smiled, exhausted, but happy. It's ready, he said. The princess stepped closer. You have done more than repair a ship. You have restored hope. This is not something I can easily repay. Ethan shrugged. I didn't do it for reward. I just wanted to help. She looked at him for a long moment. Her eyes were soft, thoughtful. Ethan felt a strange feeling he could not explain. There was something in her gaze, something deeper than gratitude. Humans, she whispered. You may be more remarkable than we thought. Ethan smiled awkwardly. Thanks. I guess. She nodded and stepped back. Soon, I must leave. My people, my enemies will not wait. But you have proven yourself. You are unusual. Ethan did not fully understand her words, but he felt their meaning. He had helped her, saved her ship, and now she would go. He did not know if he would ever see her again. The silver ship's engine hummed steadily. It was ready for flight. The alien princess turned to the control panel, her hands glowing faintly as she activated the ship's systems. The ship's lights brightened, and it began to lift slightly from the ground. Ethan stepped back, feeling a mixture of awe and sadness. Be safe, he said. She looked at him one last time. You have my respect, Ethan Cole. Perhaps more than that. One day, you may understand what you have done for me. And then, The ship lifted higher into the sky. The silver body shimmered against the morning light. Ethan watched silently as it disappeared into the clouds. His hands were dirty, his body tired, but his heart was full. He did not know that the bond he had unknowingly created with the alien princess would change his life forever. For the first time, Ethan realized that the universe was much bigger and stranger than he had ever imagined. And somehow, he felt that this was only the beginning. The valley returned to quiet. The birds began their morning songs, the wind rustled through the trees, and Ethan walked slowly back to his house. He carried his tools, wiped his hands, and thought about the strange events of the night. He did not know it, but his simple act of kindness, helping a stranger in need, had already marked him in ways he could not yet understand. Somewhere across the stars, the alien princess remembered him. And somewhere, the galaxy had taken notice of a human named Ethan Cole. The morning after the crash, Ethan Cole felt restless. The valley was quiet again, but his mind was full of thoughts about the alien princess and her ship. He could not stop thinking about her pale teal skin, silver blue hair, and the way she had looked at him before leaving. Something about her presence stayed with him. He wondered if he would ever see her again. He returned to his garage and began repairing some old machines he had left unfinished. His hands worked mechanically, but his mind wandered. Every sound of metal scraping reminded him of her ship. He wished he had asked more questions, learned more about her. But she had been cautious, careful not to reveal too much about herself. Ethan did not blame her. She had enemies, and trust was not given lightly. Suddenly, a strange hum filled the air. Ethan looked up and froze. Above the trees, he saw a faint glow moving toward the valley. It was fast, silent, and impossible to ignore. His heart pounded. He ran outside, looking for the source. The glow grew brighter, and suddenly, a small object descended. It was a scout drone, alien in shape, with sleek metal wings and a blinking red light. Ethan's eyes widened. He recognized danger immediately. He ran to the edge of the valley, picked up a long metal pipe, and held it like a weapon. He did not know if it would help, but he felt determined. He could not let anyone harm the princess, even though she was far away. The drone landed with a soft thud. A small door opened, and a projection appeared. It showed a figure in dark armor, its face hidden behind a mask. The figure spoke in a language Ethan did not understand, but the tone was threatening. Ethan realized this must be one of the enemies Leora had mentioned. He clenched his fists. "I won't let you take her," he shouted, even though the projection could not hear him. He looked around and saw old tools, pieces of metal, and an old battery pack. Ideas formed quickly in his mind. If he could create a trap or a signal, maybe he could warn her or stop the drone. Ethan moved fast. He attached wires to the battery, connected metal scraps to make a small trap, and placed it near the drone. His hands were steady, his mind focused. The drone moved closer, curious, and then he triggered the trap. A spark shot out, and the drone's lights went out. It stopped moving and fell sideways. Ethan breathed heavily. He looked at the machine, feeling a mix of fear and pride. He had no advanced weapons, no army, just his mind and tools. And yet, he had stopped the first sign of danger. Suddenly, a soft vibration came from his pocket. He took out his phone, and a strange signal appeared. The alien princess was communicating through a short-range link. Ethan had no idea how it worked, but he could see her face on the small screen. She looked worried, her eyes scanning the forest around him. "Ethan," she said, her voice calm but tense, "you are in danger. They have found the valley. You must protect yourself. Do you understand?" I understand, he replied. But I won't run. I will fight, if I have to. There was a long pause. Then she said, "Your courage is unusual. Most humans would flee. I am impressed." Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. Compliments from her were not just words, they felt meaningful. She studied him silently for a moment. "Your heart is pure. Perhaps that is why the stars brought us together." Ethan did not fully understand what she meant, but the words stayed with him. He looked around the valley, planning his next move. The drone had been destroyed, but more could come. He needed a plan. He returned to his garage and began preparing. He gathered all tools that could serve as weapons: wrenches, hammers, old batteries, even his motorcycle. He set small traps around the forest path, using metal wires and simple pulleys. Each step was careful, each decision made with thought. Ethan was not a soldier, but he had a sharp mind. He had survived machines, accidents, and hard work for many years. He could survive this, too. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher, and Ethan did not rest. Then, a strange sound came from the sky. A small strike shuttle descended. It was dark, faster than anything on Earth. The shuttle landed quietly, and the doors opened. Figures in dark armor emerged. Their weapons glowed with strange energy. Ethan's heart raced. He did not panic. He moved silently through the trees, staying out of sight. The attackers looked around, scanning the valley. Ethan used his traps, causing metal bars and wires to snap and confuse them. One attacker stepped on a hidden wire, and a small explosion knocked him off balance. Another tried to fire, but a makeshift shield of metal scraps deflected the energy beam. The alien princess's voice came through the device again. "Ethan, they are here. Be careful. Use your mind. You are strong." Ethan smiled faintly. "Thanks. I'll do my best." He continued to fight using the forest, using shadows, traps, and clever tricks. He was small against their numbers, but he was fast and unpredictable. The attackers grew frustrated. They did not expect a human to fight like this, to use simple tools in such smart ways. Finally, the last attacker approached him. Ethan felt fear, but he stood his ground. Using a swinging log tied with wire, he knocked the attacker off balance. Then, using a small metal rod, he hit the energy weapon, causing it to spark and fail. The enemy fell to the ground, defeated. Ethan's chest heaved. His hands were bruised, and sweat ran down his face. But he had done it. He had protected the valley, defended the place where the princess had landed, and survived. Through the device, Leora's face appeared again. She looked at him, and for the first time, she smiled fully. "You are remarkable. No one in my world has ever done what you just did. You are brave, clever, and kind, perhaps more than I expected from a human." Ethan laughed softly, exhausted but proud. "I didn't do it for that. I wanted to help." Her eyes softened. "That is why you are special. You act without expectation. You protect without fear. You may be the one I have been searching for." Ethan blinked. He did not fully understand. "The one you've been searching for? I'm just a human. I fix machines and live quietly. How could I be that?" She looked at him seriously. "Courage and kindness, these are rare in the universe. And you have both. Humans may seem ordinary, but you are extraordinary." Ethan felt a strange warmth. He had never heard anyone speak like that to him. It was different from praise. It felt deep, almost like she could see his soul. The sky darkened slightly as clouds moved over the sun. Ethan looked up. "Will they come back?" he asked. "They may. But you have proven yourself. You are clever and brave. You may survive whatever comes next." Ethan nodded. He realized that helping Leora was no longer just about fixing a ship. It was about protecting someone important, someone who trusted him, even though he did not fully understand her world. He felt responsibility, pride, and something he could not name, something deep and strong inside him. The day passed slowly. Ethan checked his traps, repaired his tools, and prepared for anything. Each sound in the forest made him alert. Each shadow made him cautious. He felt alive in a way he had never felt before. The danger, the mystery, and the alien presence around him made his life feel bigger, more meaningful. Evening came. Ethan sat quietly near the edge of the valley, looking at the stars. The ship was far away now, flying toward safety. But Leora's words stayed with him. "You may be the one I have been searching for." He repeated it in his mind. He did not understand everything, but he felt that something important had begun. Ethan thought about the galaxy, the alien princess, and the adventures that might come. For the first time, he felt that his life had purpose beyond fixing machines and living quietly. Somehow, he had stepped into a story bigger than himself, one that spanned worlds and stars. He did not know what would happen tomorrow. He did not know if more enemies would arrive or if Leora would return. But he knew one thing. He would be ready. Because for the first time, Ethan Cole understood that being brave, clever, and kind could change the universe in ways he had never imagined. And the galaxy, it seemed, had already taken notice of him. The morning was quiet. But Ethan Cole did not feel calm. The events of the previous day weighed heavily on him. He had faced strange alien machines, defeated dangerous enemies, and helped an alien princess. The world he knew seemed smaller now, and the galaxy seemed larger and more dangerous. Ethan walked to the edge of the forest and looked toward the sky. He remembered Leora's silver-blue hair and the glow of her ship as it disappeared into the clouds. He could still see her eyes in his mind, calm, thoughtful, and full of something he could not name. He did not understand why she had trusted him so quickly, but he felt a strange bond with her, even though they had just met. Suddenly, a sharp noise broke the quiet. A low hum filled the air, and Ethan's heart jumped. He knew that sound. It was the energy hum of alien machines. He ran toward the garage, ready to grab tools and prepare for a fight. From the forest edge, he saw small scouts approaching. There were more than before, moving silently and cautiously, scanning the area for any sign of the princess. Ethan's mind raced. He needed a plan. He could not fight them with brute strength alone. He had to use his intelligence, his creativity, and the tools he had at hand. He quickly gathered old metal rods, ropes, wires, and even some homemade explosives he had learned to make for small tasks. He set traps along the forest paths, tied wires to hidden branches, and prepared small surprises for the attackers. As he worked, he felt a strange presence near him. A small glow appeared, and Leora's voice came through a communication link she had left. "Ethan, you are brave, but the danger is greater now. They are coming in force. You must use your mind, not just your hands." "I know," Ethan replied. "I won't let them hurt you. I can handle them." "You are unusual," Leora said softly. "Most humans would run. You face danger without hesitation. It is remarkable." Ethan felt a small warmth in his chest. Her words were not just praise, they were meaningful. He had never heard anyone speak like that to him before. He smiled faintly. "I guess I'm just trying to do the right thing." Hours passed, and the sun moved high in the sky. The forest was quiet, except for the sounds of birds and the occasional rustle of leaves. Ethan hid behind trees, checking his traps, and observing the forest paths. He knew the attackers could appear at any moment. He tightened ropes, adjusted wires, and prepared himself mentally for the fight. By afternoon, movement appeared near the valley. A larger group of enemies approached. They were taller than humans, wearing dark armor, and carrying weapons that glowed with strange energy. Ethan could see their eyes behind their masks, cold, calculating, and dangerous. He swallowed hard, but did not back away. He triggered one of his traps. A metal rod swung down, hitting the first enemy in the head. He stumbled and fell. Another stepped on a wire, and a small explosion from a homemade device threw him backward. The attackers were confused. They did not expect a human to fight with such cleverness. Ethan moved quickly, using the forest to his advantage. He ducked behind trees, jumped over fallen logs, and used small stones to distract them. Each step was calculated, each movement precise. He was not a soldier, but he had survived years of fixing machines, solving problems, and thinking under pressure. Those skills now saved his life. The alien princess's voice came again through the link. Ethan, your cleverness is impressive. You think quickly. You are strong. I have to be, Ethan said, his voice steady. The attackers regrouped. They moved faster now, their weapons glowing brighter. Ethan realized that they would not give up easily. He had to end this quickly. He looked around and noticed a small hill near the forest edge. He ran toward it, setting up a final trap. He tied wires to fallen branches, attached metal scraps, and connected them to a small energy device he had repaired from the previous drone. When the attackers followed him, Ethan triggered the trap. A loud bang echoed through the forest. Metal bars swung down, hitting the enemies and knocking them off balance. Sparks flew from their weapons, and some weapons failed completely. Ethan did not wait. He used a long rod to push one enemy into the fallen traps. Another stumbled into a pit he had hidden. Finally, only one attacker remained. He was tall, armored, and dangerous. Ethan felt fear, but he did not show it. He remembered Leora's words. Courage was not the absence of fear, but acting despite it. He faced the attacker with his rod in hand. The enemy swung his weapon, but Ethan dodged and used a branch to trip him. The enemy fell, and Ethan quickly disabled his weapon. Ethan's chest heaved. His hands were bruised, and sweat ran down his face. But he had survived. The valley was safe for now. He looked around, expecting more enemies, but the forest was quiet. Through the communication link, Leora's face appeared again. She looked at him, her eyes wide with awe. Ethan, you are incredible. You faced them alone and defeated them all. No one in my world could have done that. End quote. Ethan laughed softly, exhausted. I didn't do it for that. I wanted to help. I couldn't let them hurt you. Her eyes softened. That is why you are special. Most humans act for themselves. You act for others. Courage, kindness, and intelligence. You have all three. Perhaps that is why the stars brought us together. Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. He had never felt this way before. He had protected her, and she had noticed. He had no idea what the future would hold, but he felt a connection he could not explain. As the sun began to set, Ethan checked his traps one last time. He knew more enemies could come, but he felt ready. He had survived, defended the valley, and proven himself capable. And somewhere across the stars, Leora remembered him. Ethan, the galaxy is larger than you imagine, Leora said. There are forces beyond your world, dangers you cannot yet see. But you are ready. You are strong enough to face them. I'll do whatever it takes, Ethan said. Her eyes softened. I know. And that is why you may be the one I have been searching for. The one who can stand beside me, even when the universe tries to pull us apart. Ethan's heart raced. He did not fully understand, but the words stayed with him. A strange feeling, something warm and powerful, filled him. He realized that helping her was no longer just about fixing a ship. It was about protecting someone important. Someone who trusted him without fully knowing him. Night fell, and the valley became quiet again. Ethan sat by the edge of the forest, looking at the stars. He thought about the galaxy, the alien princess, and the adventures that might come. For the first time, he felt that his life had purpose beyond fixing machines and living quietly. Somewhere far away, Leora prepared for her next move. She had seen courage, kindness, and cleverness in a human qualities rare in her world. She felt a bond growing between them. A bond that neither of them fully understood yet. Ethan looked at the sky, feeling small under the vastness of the stars. Yet he also felt strong. He had faced danger, solved problems, and protected someone extraordinary. He knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had already noticed him, and somehow, he felt that his life would never be ordinary again. He tightened his fists and smiled faintly. Whatever came next, he would be ready. He had learned that courage was not about strength alone, but about standing up when it mattered. And for the first time, he felt that his quiet life had become part of something much larger, something that stretched across worlds and stars. And somewhere, far above the clouds, the alien princess remembered the human who had faced danger without fear. She knew that he was unlike anyone she had ever met. And she knew that their story had only just begun.